You are not out of time. You are right on time. Well, welcome back to episode 2 of Limitless in Midlife. I'm Sally Arkell-Boles, and I'm your host. And today we get to dig into the midlife myths that are holding us back. So, if you are joining me in the first episode, you'll know a little bit about what this is all about and who I am. And I wanted to welcome you back because if you listened to that first episode, you already know that midlife is not your halftime show. It's the main event. But here's the problem. A lot of us are still walking around with those outdated, dusty old beliefs about what midlife is supposed to look like. You know the ones, the myths we've heard, we've been fed for years that tell us to slow down, shrink, and settle. And as a matter of fact, we might have watched our own parents or aunts and uncles or other people in our lives do exactly that. But I don't know about you. I'm not here for that. And I'm guessing since you're here, you're not thinking about that either. So today we're going to bust through the biggest midlife myths that hold us back and replacing them with the truth about how powerful this stage of life really is and really can be. Are you ready? Let's dig in. Because myth number 1, your best years are behind you. So we've talked a little bit about this, but this one really gets me fired up. So at what point did someone decide that after 40, 50, or 60, that we were just supposed to sit back and reminisce about the good old days? Like our lives are some nostalgic movie montage of things we used to be capable of. No, just no. Here's the truth. Midlife is prime time. It's the point where we finally have the wisdom to know what works for us and what doesn't. Can you relate to that one? Because that one for me is a really big deal. Because as we're working through our careers and as we're getting further along in our life, don't we gather so much more wisdom about the human condition, about people's psyches, about how our mindset works, about how we work, and the things that we really see are the most important in our life. So think about that, from the wisdom to know what works for us and what doesn't. Then there's the confidence to start caring about what other people think. Oh my gosh. Do you remember back in your 20s or even in your 30s and some of us in our 40s when we worried about how we looked, how other people thought about us, what their opinions were of how we were showing up versus how they were showing up? That confidence that we now get to bring forward because we truly own and understand who we are as a person and who we are thinking about and what we get to choose in life. And then the freedom to make bold moves and put ourselves first. And this is the part I love most about working with my clients is because what I find is that each one of them has this deep burning desire within them. They just don't know how to bring it forward. And so this is the really exciting time for me when I get to work with my clients and help them to really uncover, almost like peeling back that onion. We've heard that phrase before, peeling back that onion, so that they can really truly get to the essence of what their freedom is that they're specifically looking for in their life at this stage. In fact, if we're looking at some of the most successful, impactful, world-changing people that are out there, they even hit their stride in midlife or beyond, not just sitting around waiting for it to happen to them. Here are some examples, and these are all from our generation. Some of them might be a little older than some of the people that are joining from a midlife perspective, but Vera Wang, she didn't design her first dress until she was 40. And look at the success she now has as a top designer in the fashion world. We all know KFC Colonel Sanders. He didn't even get his recipe sold until he was in his 60s. And look at how it's gone on as a legacy for years and years to come, even after his passing. And then there's Julia Child. Do you remember the beautiful chef from France? She didn't publish her first cookbook until she was almost 50. And so there's lots of examples out there. Those are three that I just pulled forward quickly. But there's so many different examples of people just like us that decided that midlife wasn't the end, but the beginning of something that was absolutely incredible and became so important in their lives and made them so successful that we all know their names today. So let's toss out that ridiculous idea that we've already peaked because we're just getting started. When we're talking about myth number 2, which is midlife as a crisis, I just don't like that anybody refers to midlife as a crisis because we've all heard jokes about the midlife crisis, the red sports car. I actually had one. I got a red Mustang, when I was in my, I guess I was just about to turn or die. But I was in late midlife and I got the red sports car. Those impulsive decisions that we make, the existential dread that we have when it comes to midlife. But what if midlife really truly isn't a crisis? What if it's actually an awakening? Let's think about it. Up until now, most of us have been checking all those right boxes. Building our careers, check. Raising our families, check. Doing what we're supposed to do, check. And then one day, we look around and go, wait, is this it? Is this really the life that I want? That's not a crisis. That's clarity. Midlife is when we wake up and realize we don't have to live by the old rules anymore. We get to decide what success looks like now, not a year from now, not a month from now, but now, today. Today is when we get to look at what does success look like for me. We're allowed to change. We're allowed to grow and start fresh as many times as we want. As a matter of fact, I was talking to one of my fabulous clients today, Jane, and we hadn't talked in about a month or so. And I know that she was really trying to figure out what that next stage would be for her as far as what she really, truly in her heart wanted to do. And today she shared it with me. And I was like so excited to feel her excitement about what she's getting to choose to do in her life that really lights her up, but also brings all of her expertise and her wisdom forward to serve others in a way that's going to be so absolutely meaningful. And that, to me, is when we're looking at the clarity versus the crisis. So it's not something to fear in midlife. I know so many of us, our bodies start to change, our hair color starts to change. You can see mine's got a little bit of highlights now, those natural highlights. But that's something to celebrate. I'll go into some other things later on that because I think there's a lot of things that we get to celebrate that we take for granted. And I want to expand on that in one of the episodes that we're going to have coming up in the near future. But let's go on to talk about myth number 3. It's too late to start over. This is a myth that keeps so many people stuck, believing they missed their window of opportunity. I want to hear you to hear me loud and clear. Loud and clear. It's never, ever, ever too late. You are not too old and you are not behind. And if you need proof, I want you to just look around you. People are starting businesses, launching new careers, writing their books, which have been sitting inside of them for years and years. They're traveling the world now because they finally feel like they've got that freedom. And they're completely reinventing themselves at every age. And I know there's a number of people out there too that, all of a sudden when they retire and their children are grown and moved out, that they start traveling the world and doing things that their kids never, ever imagined that they would do because they never did it while they were together at home as a family. And they're just like, what? Mom and dad are traveling the world. They're going to travel to this country and that country, and they're going to explore this and that, and they're going to go be away for 6 months. How can I survive without them? Have you had that happen? These are the things that I'm talking about. As you're looking around at other people that are reinventing themselves, remember that you get to choose how you live your life. So if there's something calling to you, whether it's a new career, a new business, a creative passion, or a fresh start in any area of your life, go for it. You have my permission. You are not out of time. You are right on time. And this is what makes it exciting in this stage of our life. So as we're breaking free from these myths, I want you to think about this. So what is opening wide for you? What do you do next? What do you really want to do next? We rewrite the story. Instead of believing you're too old, we choose to believe we're just getting started. Instead of seeing midlife as a crisis, we embrace it as an opportunity to open so many doors and create joy and fun and laughter and friendships and experiences, things that we've never done before. And instead of thinking that we missed our chance, we get to realize that this is our time. It truly is your time. This is the time that you get to explore who you truly get to be. I know we've had lots of success throughout our life and we've lived lots of different journeys, so many different journeys. But what if you gave yourself the permission to really explore what you get to do with your time at this time of life? And I'm going to help you in taking that first step because I'm offering for the first 6 episodes only, and this is episode 2, an opportunity to experience my free No More Excuses midlife audit. And this is allowing you to just come in and we're going to evaluate about 10 different areas within your life. And you get to rate them on a scale of 1 to 10. And then we'll talk a little bit about where you are and maybe about what would really make you feel fulfilled in each of those categories. Don't get me wrong, this is not a sales opportunity. This is just to get you familiar with what is available for you. So you can truly look at those areas in your life where you're just killing it and having an amazing time and you feel like you've got everything in mind. And then maybe there's 1 or 2 things you're like, you know what? Hadn't even thought about that. But yeah, there's a gap there and I want to be able to explore it more. Those are the kinds of things that I get to offer you in that free No More Excuses midlife audit. But remember, it's only limited to the first few people that come in from the first 6 episodes of this brand new podcast, Limitless in Midlife. So the audit will help you get clear on where you are right now, what's holding you back, and what needs to shift to get you to step into your next chapter. So grab yours. It's in the link in the show notes so that you can take that action. And let's book it because I'm getting booked up quite heavily right now. So I really want to make sure I have the opportunity to work with you and to help you to be able to have that free audit. And then as we go forward, really like to invite you to subscribe to this new podcast so you don't miss next week's episode because we're diving into whether you need a reinvention or just a realignment. What's that mean, Sally? Well, let's see. When we're talking about a reinvention or maybe just a little shift, right? What do you need to change to really feel that everything in your life is ticking and you're headed in the right direction? If you could share this episode with a friend who needs to hear it, let's just get together as women and men and really talk about why midlife gets to be better when we do it together. Right? Because when there's more of us in the community, there's more of us connecting together in the comments. And remember that I do want to have you comment below what were the things that you would really like to have happen in your midlife? Or what are the things that you're holding you back? What are the fears that you might be thinking about? so that I can really start helping you and speaking to that, because this is why I'm choosing to do this podcast. I've seen so many people talking about the crisis as opposed to the opportunity. And so I'm an opportunist and I want to make sure I'm helping you to be able to show up with the energy, the joy, the excitement, the love, the passion in your relationships, everything that you've ever imagined. I want you to be able to embrace at this stage of your life, because I know in my life, I put a lot of things on the back burner while I was focused on career, raising family, etc., etc. Now I get to choose how I spend my time. And that to me is precious. And so I want you to have the same. So grab your free, no more excuses midlife audit at the link below, because this is your time to take action. And midlife isn't a time to fade into the background. It's a time to rise, time to own your power, and to be limitless. So I look forward to seeing you next week, and also to meeting you at one of our No More Excuses Midlife Audit. If you have any questions, just pop them in the chat or reach out to me. I'm on social media in lots of different areas. All my links will be in the show notes as well. Definitely feel welcome to pop in and join me and connect with me, because I'm really excited about building this out so that we have a great community, of like-minded people, all excited about what we get to create in our midlife. So wishing you limitless in midlife. I'll see you next week. This is Sally Arkell-Boles saying bye.